Good day, PSQ Nation. So, welcome to our session on innovative leadership. So, on behalf of the Philippine Society for Quality Inc., I am Angelica C. Frahinal, the Vice President for Strategic Partnership, your host for today's webinar. And also joining me at the backstage with all the support, no other than the President of the Philippine Society for Quality, President Ray Frimista. And our topic, it's about innovative leadership. And it's very timely and relevant. Why? So for those who are in the Philippines, it's very timely, especially now, because again, it's election time and we need to know the traits, qualities of a leader that we will select. So this is for the love of country. And I know the one who are attending now, not only Filipinos, but we also have participants, guests from other countries. So thank you for being with us. And among us, there is no place for lukewarmness. We are all called to be a leader. And our speaker will share innovation and leadership, engaging the SCREAM model of innovative leadership, optimum performance through innovative leadership. So it is an honor to now introduce to you our resource person, and we will be together for an hour. So please feel free to place your questions so that later on we can present this to our amazing guests. So, who is our guest for today's webinar? He is Africa's leading creative intelligence expert, a lead consultant and coach of Sure Success Consultancy and Coaching Academy. And he is the first African advisory board member of United Nations World Creativity and Innovation Day. He is the convener and founder of World Change Summit with members from all over the world. Okay, not only from his own country but all over the world. He's a certified life coach, trainer, consultant, and author of several life-changing books. He is the lead consultant and coach of Sure Success Consultancy and Coaching Academy. And I also want to mention he is also a John Maxwell team member and has facilitated several trainings in Nigeria and other countries also. And he was officially invited by the Miami University of Oxford, Ohio, USA in March this year to give a lecture on creative intelligence to the students, faculty members, and African in diaspora. So let's all welcome together. Join me in welcoming our amazing speaker, Mr. MUYIWA FASAKIN.
Thank you very much, moderator. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm glad to be at the meeting for the month of October, Philippine Society for Quality. So thank you for having me. I believe I'm audible. You can all hear me loud and clear. So I can go on,
Yes, it's very clear.
moderator.
Go
Can we
ahead.
hear
Go
me?
ahead.
Okay,
Yes, we can
beautiful,
hear
beautiful.
you.
All right, so thank you very much. So let me start like this. I'll be talking about innovation, innovative leadership. It's a combination of leadership and innovation, or you say innovation and leadership. Okay, so it's important for us to start like this. Let me start like this. Many people lead because they feel it's a position. I want to have a disclaimer right away here that leadership should not be because you were given a position. You should be a leader before you are given a position. The world system makes it look like when you say somebody is the president, that is what makes him a leader. I disagree with that. You should be a leader before you become a president. So, because leadership is supposed to be a mindset, it's a leadership mindset you have. So, if you have a leadership mindset, we believe that you can occupy a position. So, you don't become a leader because you occupied a position. You become a leader because you have a leadership mindset already, then you occupy a position. Okay, my friend Dr. Ray, I'm sure is the president. Now, he is not the president because he has a position. He should be a president, position president, because he is a leader. So, position do not make you a leader. We have many leaders in the world, so-called leaders in the world today, and they are not truly leaders because they don't have the leadership mindset. There is a mindset a leader should have. That's number one. Then number two, what I would like to disabuse our mind from today to believe is that leadership is example. Leadership is not position. Leadership is example, which means that if you are an example of a particular thought, if an example of a particular culture, belief, or a lifestyle, by default, you become a leader. So you can be a leader of thoughts. You can be a leader of a particular movement. You can be a leader of a particular belief or culture. So it is not only positions that makes you a leader. So if you're an example of a particular value or a culture or way of life, by default, you become a leader at that level. Let me give you an example. Maybe in India, Mahatma Gandhi. Maybe in South Africa, we have Nelson Mandela. Now, Nelson Mandela did not become a leader because he occupied any position. He was just fighting for his people. He was just telling his people, this is the way it should be. Let's fight for what belongs to us. So he became a leader because he had a leadership mindset, not because he had a position. So you don't need a position to become a leader. I don't know if you get that right. You can write that anywhere, write it anywhere. You don't need a position to become a leader. You just need the leadership mindset to become a leader. So I've seen so many people say, oh, I will have done so well if I had a position as a leader. You are wrong. You really don't need a position to be a leader. You just need to be an example because the world is looking for an example to follow. The communities are looking for an example to follow. The society are looking for examples to follow. So you don't need a position to be an example to others. You just need to be an example in a particular thought, a line of thought, or a particular way of life, and a particular struggle, then people will follow you. I think that is clear. So a mindset of a leader is important. It means seeing problems as opportunities, recognizing that every challenge provides an opportunity to learn and grow. A true leader is able to keep their is able to keep their team focused on outcomes and not the events, and also helps in generating response that always attract a right outcome amidst various events. So in life, we have three dimensions to life. Number one, we have the events of life. Number two, we have the response to the events of life. The number three, we have the outcome for the events of life. So we have the number one, events will always happen. Events, various events in life. And it can be good, it can be bad, it can be positive, it can be negative, it can be terrible, it can be a wicked one, it could be a complex problem. Events will always happen. It could be pandemic, it could be like COVID, this COVID-19 period. Event will always happen. But the second thing is For every event, it should trigger a response. Where the mindset of a leader comes in is the response. How you get people to respond to the event makes you to be a true leader. And you cannot get people to respond accurately and correctly if you are not having the leadership mindset. So the critical point of this message for you, for me this day, is you not understand the mindset of a leader. A leader helps in the response to a particular event, whether positive or negative. So when the leader recognizes the event, it comes up with a response to that event. Now, it is the response to the event that determines the outcome of the event. So when you celebrate a leader because of the results and outcomes that it generates, is literally because of the kind of response the leader has. That's the leader on the picture. If you can see the screen, there's a picture of a leader holding on to the followers to be able to cross to the next level. That is the work of a leader. That's the mindset of a leader. A leader is interested in the results and the outcome, and it must be a positive outcome and result because the leader has a positive response to the events of life. Now, let me give you an example. It's the pandemic that happened last year. If a president of a country, let's say leader, I don't want to use the president because what makes him a president is not the position, it should be the leadership mindset. So if the leader feels, oh, there's a pandemic and people have to be at homes and the lockdowns and all that, there should be restrictions, and that is a response to the pandemic. Some other leaders can feel, well, we can still go out and go to work, but we have to have restrictions here and there. That's another response from a leader. Another response might be, yes, we cannot shut down our economy, but how can we be working and be productive, but still be conscious of infecting ourselves with this virus and all that? That is another response from another leader. So leaders will have various responses to various events, negative or positive. Now, what determines the outcome of that event, whether negative or positive, is the response of the leader. So that's why we say the leader should be responsible. He has a responsibility. He has an ability to respond to events that occurs in life. Because the events that occurs in life, it's not going to promise you it's always going to be positive. Some could be terrible, like the pandemic. Some could be complex problem. Some could be wicked problem. But the truth is, your response determines the outcome. Let me give you an example in my own case. So when it got to the pandemic period last year, I had not had any training online for many years of my life. I used to, by the way, I used to be a university professor. I taught economics in the university for 7 years before I resigned and got into innovation and creative stuff. So the first major online training that I would have was last year. Now, it was my response to the pandemic that got me fully online. So I launched out online. I had website online. I had other things I do online. Before 2020, I had not been online for any training. The rate at which I was in training on before 2020 was like 5%. But by 2020, I'd moved 98% of my trainings and activities online. That was a response. That was a response. And that response gave me the best outcome of my life. Because now I've reached out to so many countries. I've talked to so many people from various places. I think that was when I met Dr. Ray Frisman. I think that was when it was during that period. So it's important that we note that leadership should be a mindset issue. It's not a position issue. Let's clear our minds on that. Leadership is not a mindset. It's not a position issue. It's a mindset issue. So a true leader is able to keep his team focused on outcomes and not the event, and also helps in generating a response that always attracts the right outcome and miss various events. I think that is clear. Okay, I believe that is clear. So, leaders leads the mindset of a leader. Let's start with this. This is the mindset of a leader. Number one, leaders are willing to learn. Leaders are willing to learn. You can't be a good leader without learning. We can't be a good leader without learning, and it's important you learn consistently. So that's basically that. So you must learn to learn as leaders. Now, the bad thing about many leaders is that they feel because they're leaders, they have nothing to learn. That's wrong. It's the wrong mindset. That's not the mindset of a leader. A leader is always willing to learn, because the day you stop learning, you start to die. You don't grow again, because there's a perfect relationship between learning and growing. So immediately you don't learn again, you stop to grow and you start to die. Excuse me. So the reasons why we have most leaders not performing up to expectation is because they have stopped to learn. They have stopped to learn. They do not learn anything again because they are in a position of a president. So they feel that they are now presidents and there's nothing to learn from anybody. Now, let me say this very clearly. You learn every day. You learn from living things, you learn from non-living things, you learn from plants, you learn from natural things, you learn from everything. People, young, old, adults. This morning I've learned. I'm not used to using this device device we used for this program, the StreamYard, and the StreamYard. But so I had to learn how to do one or two things before you came in. That's a leader, always ready to learn, because there is we don't have any need to pretend as if we know it when you don't know it. So you must be a learner. Number two, the mindset of a leader, empathy. You must have empathy as a leader, not sympathy. Because you can have sympathy and you don't effect any change. Now, most of our people that they are in position, they claim they have sympathy. So they show concern, similarly, as if they are showing concern, and so sorry, I know the pain of my people, I know how my followers are feeling, all that and that. But that's just sympathy. That's not empathy. Empathy makes it productive. Empathy makes it achievable. Empathy makes it attainable. Because when you have empathy, you are seeing yourself in the position of the follower. You are seeing yourself in the position of those that believe in you. So you know where the pains are and you go fix it, because their pain is your pain as regards to empathy. Your pain is their pain and their pain is your pain. That's empathy. And a leader should have an empathy mindset. That's why you can fix economic problem. That's how you can fix the problem of the industrialization. You can fix infrastructural problem. You can fix social problem. You can fix the problem of poverty. You can fix all kinds of problem if you have the empathy as a leader. It's a leadership mindset. Yes, yes, yes. It's a leadership mindset. The next leadership mindset is to be adept. To be adept means to be skillful. it's going to be terrible for a country or an organization or a community or a society that will have a leader that is not skillful. Leaders needs the skill. All forms of skills are needed for leaders, and it's important that leaders move to that level of being skillful. Many leaders, some leaders are not really skillful. So they just do it haphazardly. They don't do what should be done the way it should be done because they don't have that skill as a leader. So to be adept is a mindset of a leader. A leader should be skilled in every area that pertains to leading the people right. So if he's going to go for leadership trainings, he has to be skilled in that. If it's going to be creativity, he has to be skilled in that. If it's going to be, emotional intelligence, he has to be skilled. Creative intelligence, social intelligence, he has to be skilled in that. That's the mindset of a leader. Number four. I love this. Oh goodness, I love this. A leader should dream. Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream. I have a dream. That's who. You can tell me a leader, and I will tell you leaders that have dreams. All the leaders I know that have been successful, they had dreams. Nelson Mandela of South Africa, he had a dream that one day his people will be liberated, will be freed. That's the dream. Tell me a leader, and I will show you one person that has the dream. There is no leader without a dream. I remember the story usually of Joseph in the Bible, if you permit me to use a case study. But Joseph will always have a dream. And eventually, even in the prison, the guy still had a dream. You can't stop dreaming, ladies and gentlemen. A leader will always have a dream. A leader will always have a dream. That is the normal thing. You've got to dream. That's the leadership mindset. Dream big, dream big. You must have the big dream to make. For it is not where your country is that matters today. It is where they are going. It's not where your country is, your community or your society is. It's not where the PSQ is, the Philippine Society for Quality. It's not where you are today. It's the dream. It's your dream that matters. Singapore was so far behind. They had a dream. Thailand and other countries, Dubai, they didn't have any mineral resources as it were, but they had a dream. You might not have money, but have dreams. You might not have resources today, but have dreams. You might not have the funds to finance that business, but have dreams. You might not have funds to get to the industrial world, but have dreams. And it's guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It is cheap to have a dream. It's not expensive. It's not expensive to have a dream. But unfortunately, people had stopped dreaming. People don't dream again because they dreamt about one, it didn't work. They dreamt about the other one, they are not there. Because it's a dream, it's going to take time, but it will surely actualize. So leaders, you need to dream. That's a leadership mindset. It's your dream that will follow. That's why Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. That's the dream. That one day, and people believe the dream. Until date, the dream is activated. So, my question to you here in the PSQ and other people joining us from all over the world is, do you have a dream? Do you follow up your dream? Do you believe that one day your dream is going to come to pass? You've got to dream, dream, and dream again. Don't stop dreaming. Then the last part for leaders, the mindset of a leader. Now, don't forget, I said earlier, if you're just joining us, that what makes you a leader is not a position that you heard. Position does not have that capacity to make you a leader. What makes you a leader is the mindset. It's the mindset of a leader. So maybe you can judge yourself today as we go on. Do you love to learn? Do you have empathy? Are you adapting? Are you dreaming? Then do you have sight? Because there is no way you will dream without sight. So when I say sight, I do not mean physical sight. When I say sight, I mean you have insight, foresight, and hindsight. That is sight. That is sight. So if you have a leader without a foresight, that's going to be catastrophic for the followers, for the community, for the country, for the organization. Every leader needs a sight, foresight. Foresight is the clear understanding about the future events. You have an understanding about what is going to happen in years to come. You have a picture of the future. Let's call it like that. A leader should have a picture of the future. Can you say that to yourself? Say, I am a leader. Can you repeat after me? I'm a leader. Say, I have a picture of the future. Can we say that again? Say, I am a leader. Okay. Say, I have the picture of the future. That's foresight. Every leader, ladies and gentlemen, should have the picture of the future. Because you can't lead anybody if you don't have a foresight. Because you don't even know where you're going to. How can you get people to join you? When you see leaders that knows where they're going to, it becomes easy for others to join them. It becomes so easy for followers to believe in them because they could see that they know where they are going to. So, foresight is key for leaders. Number two, we have insights, the clear understanding about a present situation. A clear understanding about a present situation. That's insight. So, leaders, most times they come to you for solutions. And insight is a key component of providing solution. You've got to have insight to that particular problem. And that's the truth. Now, I said this, I was talking to some groups, some leaders in Sri Lanka yesterday, and I told them, is it yesterday or 2 days ago? I was talking to them 2 days ago, and I told the leaders, industry and some other leaders, and I told them, I said, you see, if you don't have the sight to identify the right problem, you will be solving the wrong problem. And there is no amount of energy and hard work you put into solving a wrong problem that leads you to the right solution. So, as leaders, you must have the capacity to discover, to unveil the right and the correct problem so that you can have the solution. Like Albert Einstein said, he said, and it's very profound for me. Albert Einstein said, he said, I would rather use about 90% or 95% to find out what the problem is, than I use 5% to solve the problem. So it's going to use 95% of his time to find out the problem because it's easier when you discover what the problem is to solve the problem. So many leaders don't have the sight, the insight, the foresight, and the hindsight to really unfold or uncover what the problem is, the right problem is. So we are busy solving the wrong problem. So a leader will just see something happen, an event, and say, yes, this is the problem. The problem is unemployment. Sometimes that might be part of the problem, but that might not be the major problem. So you need sight, foresight, hindsight, and hindsight is important. Hindsight also is a clear understanding about a past situation that you leverage on to bring about a solution in the present time. So it's important to have hindsight too. Now, let me say this very clearly. You don't live in your past, you live in the present and you live in the future. Now, we have three categories of people: people that live in the past, There are quite many people that live in the present. There are many too, but people that live in the future, they are just very few. Very few people live in the future, and people that live in the future, they are more wealthy. I mean, they are more wealthy. They are wealthier than people that live in the present and in the past. It's even poverty to live in the past. You don't live in the past. If you're going to be poor, it's because you're living in the past. But the present is still averagely okay. But those that live in the future, those are the leaders of now and the leaders of tomorrow, both in thought and in exploits and in great achievement. They have gone into the future and others are following them. Okay, so let me move. The innovator's mindset. So we are bringing together leadership and innovation. That's why I call it innovative leadership. Sorry, let me check something here. Okay, sorry. Today, I will not be getting into the Scrum model because of time and all that. But it's what I've done here has captured the Scrum model. I just kind of rephrase it to capture it in a more simple way so that we don't get into complex path. All right. So the innovator's mindset. Now, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, an innovator is someone who introduces changes and brings about new ideas. So you begin to ask yourself, am I an innovator? Do I introduce changes? Do I bring about new ideas? Because no one will follow you. The guy on red is the leader. The rest are on blue. He has brought about changes and is bringing about new ideas. So they will not have a choice than to follow. Now, people generally in this dispensation, they are tired of the old. They are tired of the old ways of doing things. So everyone is looking for a new way, a new methodology, a new approach to do stuff that they are doing. So as a leader, you cannot afford to be backwards. So what a leader is expected, which is an innovator's mindset also, is to introduce change, to facilitate change and manage change because change is constant and innovators believe in change. An innovator is not so much content always with everything. They have what we call purposeful discontent. So an innovator wants it better. An innovator wants it in a new way. An innovator wants a better approach, a better method, a better way of doing it. That's what an innovator wants. That's the innovator's mindset. They are willing to change their world. They are willing to give the world a better opportunity to express whatever they have and get to be a better world. That's what the innovator's mindset looks like. Now, the innovator's mindset means that the thought pattern that guides someone who believes he or she has a responsibility to introduce changes and bring about and implement new or different ideas his community to, I mean, introduce new and different ideas to his community and environment. So you are saddled with the responsibility as an innovator to implement, of course, or introduce new ideas into your community, new ways of doing what you do, new ways of getting a better result. And can I tell you this quickly that the World Economic Forum says, I'm sure you know it already, that creativity stands out to be one of the most three important skill needed to succeed in this century. So somebody said the future belongs to those who are creative. So if you're not creative, you can't be innovative because creativity leads to innovation. Creativity leads to innovation. Now, this is the best way I have to explain creativity and innovation because I might not want to assume that everybody knows the difference between creativity and innovation. Now, so creativity is conceiving the idea. Innovation is the implementation of the idea. Can I say that again? Creativity is conceiving the idea. Innovation is the implementation of the idea. So you can be creative and not move to the level of innovation. Yeah, you can. So you must be creative and move to the next level of innovation, because people only interact with innovation, not creativity. Your creativity belongs to you. Innovation belongs to the world. That's what they interact with. That's what they can relate with. The world cannot relate with your creativity directly. They can only relate with your innovation. So if you're a leader and you're creative, you must move to the next level of innovative by implementing those ideas and situations and values that you have. So it's important for innovators to bring up new ideas, to implement new ideas, to give us a better way, a new approach of doing this. Immediately you bring out a new approach, you will likely have followers. Immediately show us a better way of doing stuff, you will likely have followers. Immediately you show us this is a better way of doing things, you will also likely have to have followers. Let me, because of my time, let me move. So that's the innovator's mindset, and it's very important. So innovators leads. That's another way. So I just broke the SCAM model into two: leads in innovation and leads in leadership. So leaders will lead, innovators will lead. I think that's the primary aim of it. So innovators are leading, leaders are leading. So now, for innovators, innovators learn. That's the mindset of an innovator. So it's similar to leadership. You cannot be a leader and not learn, and you cannot be an innovator and not learn. Number two, empathize. Innovators will have to empathize. That's the why they innovate, because they put themselves in the shoes of others and see how things can be better. They see how they can get things done in a faster way, easier way. That's empathy. And that's an innovator's mindset. So when an innovator comes to a place like this and is a new member of PSQ and is just thinking, how can we get this organization to move to this next level? Because he wants to do something new. He wants to get changes that will give the organization a world-class image, and is thinking of what's going to be new here. I mean, that's what innovators do. When you get to a place and they say this is your position, this is who you are in this place, you are going to ask yourself, so how can we bring up something new? When you study the old, you think of how can we bring something new to the table. So that's how innovators think. That's how leaders think. It's a mindset. It's not a position. It's not a position. President is not a position. It's a mindset. Secretary is not a position. It's a mindset. Vice president of that is not a position. It's a mindset. What makes you a president is not the post. It should be your mindset. Let me stop for a moment there so that I can ponder on what I've said. What makes you to be the MD, CEO of your company is not the position, it's the mindset. You get the mindset wrong, you mess up in the position. That's why a lot of leaders are not leading anywhere, because they have the wrong mindset. So innovators lead, they learn so much, they learn. Number two, they empathize. They want to bring out something different, something new, because they put themselves in the position of every other person and they want it different, they want it better, they want it easier, they want it good. So they empathize. Number three, agility. The agility, wow, agility, leaders and innovators too, they think and act fast. They are prompt, I mean, they are apt to think, and they're apt to act on it. That's the agility I'm talking about. So innovators are agile. They just think, oh, that's not supposed to be there. We should have it in a better way. And they get into action. That's the innovator's mindset. So they don't just procrastinate and say, okay, we will do it next year, we will do it next 2 years. No, they think it, they act it. That's agility, and that's the innovator's mindset. Number four, disrupt. That's my favorite, disrupt. Now, people have negative beliefs about disruption. And disruption is not negative. Disruption is what you call it to be. It could be positive if that's the area you're going to. It could be negative if that's the area you want to go to. It depends on you. And I said it yesterday when I was talking to the leaders of Sri Lanka. I told them clearly, I said, disruption, the best way to address disruption is by you being disruptive yourself. The best way to accommodate disruption is by you being disruptive yourself. Yeah, breaking the natural order. Let me give you this example, and it will interest you. So recently, my wife bought my son a particular trousers that when you wear, it seems that you are sagging. You know, sagging is common within our youths of today, young boys. They sag, they put the trousers or the pants they're wearing in the low waist, so you can see the kind of boxers they are wearing on their wear that they're putting on. I don't know whether it's common in the Philippines, but in this part of the world, in the US and everywhere, it's common. So and I told my class one day, I said, if you say sagging is wrong, it's a disruption because that's not the dress pattern we knew. And some people just came up with some dress pattern that is not convenient. Then you must create another disruptive pattern that will substitute the negative one. So definitely the trousers my keyboard was a disruption to another existing disruption. Did you get that? So you cannot push away disruption without providing the alternative disruption. That's interesting. You can't. So if you say this is disruption, it has broken the world system and the natural order. To push that away, you must bring another disruption that could be an alternative. The pandemic came, working cannot be at the office again. So we had remote working. That's a disruption too, to curtail the disruption. So you cannot just push away disruption because it's negative. You must substitute it with a different and a positive disruption. So you break the natural order again, but you come up with a positive solution in your own category. And let me say this, those that disrupt gain control more. If you see people that have disrupted the economy, the world system, the political system, and all social system, they have more followers, whether it's negative or positive. So you cannot stand in between. You either go for positive disruption, and I would not recommend negative disruption. Lastly, sight. Sight. Sight is coming up again as a mindset of an innovator. Wow. You cannot do without sight. Insight, foresight, and hindsight. Those sights are needed if you are going to be an innovator. And so there is a link between, there's a nexus between leaders and innovators as I round off my slide. I won't go into others because of time and maybe some other time subsequently I can take it from here. But for now, just permit me to stop here, looking at the relationship between leaders and the innovators. Both of them lead. So it is not because you have a position that you lead. You are leading because you have a leadership mindset. It is not particularly because you have a position, that's why you are leading, is because you have an innovative mindset. So a leader is an innovator. An innovator is a leader. That's where I want to stop for today, ladies and gentlemen. A leader is an innovator. An innovator is a leader. So if you don't have an innovative mindset, you are not yet a leader. I don't really know your post and your position. Because for me, position and post does not determine or does not make you a leader. What makes you a leader? It's the mindset of a leader. What makes you a leader is an innovative mindset that makes you a leader. So there's a relationship, there's a nexus between innovation and leadership. That's why we call it innovative leadership. Permit me to stop there. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. I love to take questions now. Thank you.
Thank you, our speaker, MUYIWA FASAKIN. And thank you for reminding us that we are all called to be a leader, and it is not referring to a position issue, but it is asking us to have a leadership mindset. So thank you also for reiterating that leadership is an example so that people will be enticed. They look at you and they follow you. Okay. So we'd like now to open the floor for Q&A. So allow me first to ask the initial questions. Okay. Muyiwa, we have been hearing about first, we have transformational leadership, and then visionary leadership, and then we have innovative leadership. Can you please expound on this?
Okay, so please, can you come again? Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah. Can you expound on these
Can you come again?
terminologies? Yeah. On these terminologies, because we always are hearing regarding leadership, no? So can you elaborate on the following? So transformational leadership, we are always hearing about the one that you mentioned now, innovative leadership, and then there's such thing as a core
Okay,
value, visionary leadership.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. I think they are related. They are all related, and one will lead to the other one. You can be a visionary leader without being a transformational leader. Because it's your vision that you convert and pass it to the followers and it transforms them. You understand? Then, so visionary leader is he has a sight. It's part of the mindset of the leader. Sight, vision, sight, vision, sight. There's a relationship with sight and vision. So it's as far as you can see as a leader that gives the platform for your followers to follow, and at the end of the journey, they are transformed. So if you're a visionary leader, all other factors held constant, you have to arrive at a transformational leader. For example, in South Africa, we have Nelson Mandela. He was visionary, but the truth it brought transformation to the people. So there's a relationship. Now, innovative leadership is in between. It connects vision and transformation together. So we have, if you permit me to describe it like this, we have vision, we have innovation, and we have transformation. So the connective force between vision and transformation is innovation. So when you have a vision, it helps you. You want to bring about changes, you want to bring about transformation, you want to do new things that's going to make life easier, people become better, the quality of life becomes better. And where you arrive at, eventually, the outcome of that is transformation. And that makes you a transformational leader. So you start from a visionary leader, you get into the innovative leader, then you end up as a transformational leader. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for going through the relationships, no? So we have a question from one of the participants. Okay. So this is from Felicia Bernardo. How can you convince your followers that you are the right leader?
I love the question for Felicia. I love the question. You don't convince your people that you are a leader. You just operate in the mindset I've listed out. If you get the recordings, go through it again. If you operate with this mindset, they will follow you. You see, followership is not demanded, and it's not dictated, and it's not enforced. You don't. It's not a military rule. You don't enforce it. You don't make them believe you're a right leader. You just go ahead with the right mindset of a leader. Leads, learning, empathy. I mean, adapt. Destruct and cite all that I've mentioned. Following, you will be a leader. Let me give an example, personal example. I'm in Nigeria. I live in Nigeria. I know Dr. Ray very well. He knows me. Okay, so I started the World Change Summit. World Change Summit has over 2,100 members from Europe, and America, Asia, and some Africa. Now, I'm a black, I'm a Nigerian, but people have come to accept. If you go to my website, www.worldchangesummit.org, you will see that my global advisors, we have from different parts of the world, the white, black, Asian, everywhere. And I'm the leader. Now, some will have said, I can't allow this black nigger to be my leader. No, it is the leadership mindset that brought about them to follow me. It's not because I enforced leadership or convinced them. I just see people chatting me up from other countries of the world that, you're my mentor. I asked myself, there was no day I signed an agreement with you that will be your mentor, but they have seen me as a leader, despite the fact that I didn't tell them to follow me. But they've seen my mindset. People follow mindsets, not your works completely. They start with following your mindset. That's where leadership starts. Leadership starts from your mindset. So if you want followership, starts from having the right mindset, the leadership mindset, the innovative mindset, then people will just follow you. Like I have a lot of followers from all over the world, from the United States, from Saudi Arabia, from everywhere. And I never convinced them to follow me. I just did what I'm doing rightly now. Even in Philippines, some people can see me now and say, okay, I like this way this guy talk. I'm going to be following him on social media. That's how you bring leadership. I mean, I didn't ask them to follow me, but they looked at my mindset and it felt this was the kind of mindset I'm looking for. I will follow him. So thank you, Felicia. That's the part. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Felicia, and thank you, Muyiwa. So we have another question from Doc Sandra Maningas. How does good leadership looks like during this pandemic?
That's another interesting question from Zandra. Okay, now, when you say good leadership during the pandemic, the best way to address the pandemic period is going through the innovative leadership. You will need innovation to be a good leader in this period of pandemic, because you cannot do what you have been doing the way you have been doing it before. You will not get a good result during the pandemic. So what works during this pandemic is innovation, innovative leadership. The way you think should be different. The way the approaches to situations should be different, and your mindset should be very, very, accurately positioned during this pandemic period. I gave an example. I gave an illustration. I don't know if Sandra was around there. Said in life there are three situations in life, and I like to say it quickly. One, event. Two, response. Three, outcome. So if the event is negative, just like the pandemic is negative, a good leader's response will determine what the outcome will be. So the outcome is always there. What determines whether the outcome will be good or bad is the response of the leader. And that is why they said leader is responsible, is responsible, responsible. So your response as a leader during the pandemic determines if you are going to be called a good leader or you have a good leadership. So if you have a negative event like the pandemic, you must have a right perception, right interpretation of the event. That an event is negative does not mean your response should be negative. When an event is negative, then your response should be positive, should be creatively bettered if you have a negative situation because it leads to the positive outcome. So you can take this formula: negative event add positive response gives you positive outcome. Can we say it again? Negative event plus positive response equals to positive outcome. But let's say this: positive event plus negative response leads to negative outcome. Even if the event is positive, if your response is negative, your outcome will be negative. So what determines the outcome, whether of any situation that happens in the world, is the response: positive response. Positive response brings about good leadership in pandemics or in any very wicked problem situation or complex problem situation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you also, Doc Sans, for your question. And how time flies. It's already 2:58, no? So if there are other questions, maybe we can entertain one more question. Muyiwa, may I ask the last question? Here we have from our
Okay.
participants from John Sistona. How to delegate responsibilities efficiently?
Wow. Well, delegation of responsibility is very important. But the problem leaders have when they delegate responsibility is that they delegate responsibilities without being conscious if they're delegating this responsibility to a team. There is need for teamwork if you want to delegate responsibilities. So people delegate responsibilities because of position, not because of mindset. So you check the mindset of the person you're working with, your teammate, before you delegate the responsibility. You might not delegate it completely because of the position, because there's a difference between leadership and position. What makes you a leader is not position. What makes you a leader, it's the mindset. So when you have the right mindset, you can easily delegate the work to the person with the kind of mindset you associate with. Now, if the person is in the position, then you might need to work on his or her mindset before you delegate work. Because if you want efficiency, efficiency has a very strong and proportional relationship with mindset. So if the person is not with the right mindset, your work will sink into the red blue sea or the deep blue sea if you don't get the right person. So you must check up with mindset. You do a mind check and see the right mindset. Then you delegate such responsibility to such person. So until such people have that mindset, delegating work to them is a waste of time, and it can lead your work to a total shutdown eventually. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John, for your question, and thank you to our speaker, Muyiwa Pasakin, for patiently answering all the questions. So, how we wish we can have more time, but it's already 3 o'clock. Okay, so thank you also for reminding us, everyone, that we need to have that willpower, which is a very important part of quality. We need first to become master of ourselves, because when you say leadership, it doesn't necessarily mean only the position, but all of us, we are called to become leaders. So we need to be a master of ourselves,
Sorry,
then a
sorry,
guide,
please.
and
Can
a
I say?
leader. Go ahead, Muyiwa.
Can I say something? Yeah.
Sure, go
Lastly,
ahead.
sorry, I just want to drop my social media. I'm on Facebook. That's my name. I've typed. They just set me on Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter. That just look for the name. I've typed my name there. Then also check World Change Summit on Facebook so that you can join. Dr. Ray is already a member and is one of our global advisors in World Change Summit. So you can just type World Change Summit on your Facebook page, and you'll be able to get there. And when you get there, you can easily join, and I'll accept you because you are coming from a prestigious organization like this. I'm going to accept you, and so basically that's it. So you can try and join World Trade Summit on Facebook. Then all social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Muyiwa Fashaki. I've written my name there. Please feel free to communicate. Let's collaborate and let's make this world a better place. Thank you very much once again.
Okay, thank you also. I'm sure our participants would love to collaborate with you. So thank you also for sharing all those contact information. So again, before we end, let us all become an effective leader. We need to attract others by our example. So we need to be a role model. Okay. So everybody, please scan the QR code for our evaluation of the activity that we just had, and then after that we will be giving you the certificate of participation or attendance. Okay, so at this moment the Philippine Society for Equality would like to present the certificate of appreciation to Muyiwa Fasakin for imparting valuable insights and inspiration to the participants during the webinar Innovative Leadership. Okay, today, October 29, 2021. So given by no other than the President of the Philippine Society for Equality, Dr. Ray B. Fremista. So Muyiwa, thank you very much for gracing and joining us in one of our webinar series. So thank you. So if you'd like to become
Thank
part
you. Thank you.
of the Philippine Society for Equality, please feel free to contact our secretariat. Okay? So thank you very much to everybody, especially to our guest speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.